We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Javi Garcia, Melky Cabrera and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Prince Fielder and Jeff Bannister's 6 over 500 Texas Rangers. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you Game 2 of this three-game set. If you missed the opener last night, it was a very unusual game. Chris Sale was just outstanding. There was no question about that. 14 strikeouts, no runs, 8 innings, and we lost it 2-1. Well, we had 9 hits last night. We just couldn't do anything with them.
Well, unfortunately, we did have opportunities against Colby Lewis. And when the opportunities came along, well, it didn't work out too well. Back-to-back base hits in the first inning. But then Javi swings at a breaking ball and out of the inning. Then Connor Gillespie with a double. Joe McEwing decides to gamble because not much has been happening. So 2 good relay throws. Andrus on the relay home, and they get Javi at the plate. Then a situation with the bases loaded. Just a great play. Probably would have been 3. And now the finale, the 9th inning with a chance. But unfortunately, Melky pops it up. Odor makes the catch, and that was that. Unfortunately, Chris Sale, who threw brilliantly, did not get the win. And once again, the Sox went down to defeat. Hopefully today they can cash in on some of those opportunities.
Well, Carlos Rodon, last time he faced these Rangers, had a good outing.
I thought he pitched unbelievably well in Texas. Take a look at the stuff he had. It was overwhelming. 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, just 3 walks with 1 earned run. That's what he's capable of doing. And we're going to see him doing it more and more. And Nick Martinez provides the opposition, and he was pelted last time out. He didn't make it out of the 4th inning with 9 hits and 7 earned runs, and that was the one game the Sox won in Texas. So hopefully more of the same here today. It's an 8-game losing streak. The Sox have to get out of it, and if they do, Chris Sale said it. He said, we're going to win one, and then after that, we're going to win a lot of them. Let's hope that's true.
Chris Sale's something. He is something. All right, it's Daddy-Daughter Day here at the ballpark as the Sox look to put an end to this 8-game skid. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Audi, truth in engineering. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. It's 77 degrees at game time. A beautiful day for baseball. And let's take a look at how the Rangers are going to line themselves up under Jeff Bannister. Shin-Soo Choo leading it off with Elvis Andrus in the 2 spot. And it's Prince Fielder, the DH. Mitch Moreland, the culprit from last night, is at first. Ryan Rua, Adam Rosales, Jonas Martin, Carlos Corcoran, and Rougned Odor at second base, hitting 9th. The defense, and out that lineup behind Nick Martinez. Behind Carlos Rodon. Melky Cabrera, Adam Eaton, Avisail Garcia in the outfield with Connor Gillespie, Lexi Ramirez, Carlos Sanchez, Jose Abreu at first, Tyler Flowers, who hit a towering home run last night behind the plate, and our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Carlos Rodon. On for his 8th start, his 11th game overall. He's been pretty good. The record 2-1, the ERA, 3.86, 43 strikeouts, 25 walks. And when he gets the ball over the plate, he's awfully tough. So the umpires for the game this afternoon, Phil Cuzzy is behind the plate. The crew chief, Jerry Davis, is at first. Tony Randazzo at second, and Will Little is at third base. So they've thrown the ball around the infield, which means we're ready for the second of a 3-game series. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Daddy-Daughter Day here at the ballpark. Beautiful afternoon in the city. Beautiful. So happy you could join us for game 2 of this 3-game set right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Shin-Soo Choo will lead it off. He's the right fielder, comes in hitting at .238, 8 homers and 32 knocked in. And the first pitch of the ball game. Ball 1.
Choo drew the most important base on balls of the night, seeing as was the first given up by Sox pitching. That was with 1 out in the 9th inning. Proved to be the tying run.
Hell, the play of the game was that over-the-shoulder catch by Alberto. Man, what a play that was. It saved 3 runs.
I thought it was spectacular, seeing as Choo couldn't get to it.
Yeah.
I talked with Eric Nadel, and he said never in any game he's ever seen played has he gone back so far. Alberto went out actually by Choo and made the catch. But you said you were keying on Adam Eaton and said he was pretty close to third base, so that would have been 3 runs.
3 runs. Yeah. That would have been a 3-run play. But it's symptomatic when you're in a losing streak and you're not playing good. Everything goes against you. Ate him up right there. And that's out number 1. Yeah, Will Little had a tremendous game behind the plate last night. I mean, he really did. There's only one definitive pitch that we could say that he probably missed. And even that came at the wrong time. That came on a 1-0 pitch to Elvis Andrus, made it 2-0. Big difference in 1-1 and 2-0.
And it's pretty hard to call a Chris Sale game because of that snapping slider. So I thought he did a terrific job behind the plate.
He did.
If you can actually point to the one the guy missed, you know he's doing a terrific job.
That's right. So here's Andrus hitting at .238.
One of the things he didn't do last night, he didn't try to lay down a bunt, and that's something that he does do, especially with a left-hander. He tries to push it up the right side.
And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. Takes the bunt, takes a strike for a 2-1 count with a big man on deck. Three and one. And a full count.
There's a look at Prince Fielder hitting a robust 344, 11 and 47.
Andrus 8 for 12 in stolen bases.
As fast as he is, and he can really run, he hasn't learned the techniques yet, especially to steal against the left-handers. This is going to be a very lively park today as it's very humid, and now it's crept up to 78 degrees.
Prince was 1 for 3 last night. And he's 2 for 3 against Carlos. And the count 2-0. Outfield for the most part straight up, obviously deep out there and right. Checks it up, takes a strike. Big hack, no contact, and it's 2-2.
This is the one pitch I'll be talking about from Carlos Rodon for a long time, and it's that slider. A little different than Chris Sale's because of the arm angle, but it's very sharp and tough to deal with when he keeps it where he kept it. And look what he's done over the course of his career, and 74% is not bad. He's a little below that this year.
He gone.
He used a slide step and then threw another slider, and he had Prince, who doesn't strike out often. In fact, that's the 34th time he's fanned this year in 260 at bats. So for a big man who swings hard, he makes pretty good contact.
Well, Prince is just a good player. He's a good first baseman. People don't give him credit for being. He's got good hands, and he is a tremendous offensive force. So here's a guy that had a big base hit last night, Mitch Moreland. He hits right-handers very well.
And he also can hit off the bench. He's had 4 pinch hitting opportunities. He's been successful 3 of the 4, and he's driven in 3 runs.
0-2 the count.
I think it's going to be a low zone from Phil Cuzzi today, and that's going to help certainly Carlos Rodon with that slider. And he generally keeps his fastball down, except when he's looking for a strikeout, he goes up by design. Month of June has been very kind to Moreland. And it is Father-Daughter Day at the old ballpark.
1-2 pitch. He gone. After half inning play, their guys nothing, and our guys coming to bat.
in Manhattan, Illinois. Let's take a look how Robin's going to line up our Sox for the game this afternoon. It's going to be Eaton, Garcia, and Abreu at the top, with LaRoche, Cabrera, and Ramirez in the middle, followed by Gillespie, Flowers, and Carlos Sanchez. The defense, and how they'll line up behind Nick Martinez. It's Rua, Martin, and Chu in the outfield, with Rosales, Andres, Odor, Moreland in the infield, Carlos Corcoran behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Nick Martinez. On for his 14th start, he's 5-2, one of those losses to the Sox. Find the ERA of 2.76.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. First pitch strike, the 24-year-old right-hander. Adam hitting at 242. He was 1 for 4 last evening. Breaking ball, foul. Sox hitting at 236 as a club with a 4.18 ERA.
Martinez was a second baseman primarily at Fordham, where he went to college. Then decided that better to throw the breaking ball than try to hit it. So he moved to the mound.
By 2-2.
Throws a touch harder than Colby Lewis. Probably has a better straight change than Lewis, but he doesn't have as good a slider.
Outfield well around to the left. Huge gap in right center. And a full count. And that's in the left field for a base hit. So a good at bat. Saw a lot of pitches. And starts it off with a single.
He breaks his bat in full protection mode, swinging a pitch out of the zone, but Martinez got it up and it cost him a base hit.
Ivy, 274, 7 homers, 26 knocked in. 1 for 4 last evening. And he has seen Martinez one time. He's 0 for 1. Gap in left center. In my opinion, a good move to put him in the 2-hole.
Well, there's no doubt that Robin is trying to look for any combination at the top to get on base ahead of the guys who are supposed to drive him in, Abreu, LaRoche, and Melky in this case.
Well, Avi is, that's off the end of the bat in the left field. Avi has been swinging lately. Everything's contagious. Club's not hitting well. They're in a slump. He's been swinging too many bad pitches. Maybe putting him in that 2-hole will slow him up a little bit.
You know, he was hitting the ball so well before he went down with that knee problem. You think there might be some residual to it?
Well, he's the only one to tell you that.
Because I know with any problems, leg problems, it's got to be very difficult to hit and get a solid base.
Especially in an ankle or a knee. So here's Abreu at 286, 12 homers and 40 knocked in. Outfield, for the most part, straight up. Bit of a gap out there in left center. And right now, Adam with a decent lead. Going away. Time is called. Pretty good move over there, the young man has.
The key for a right-hander is quickness. Key for a left-hander is deception. And Martinez has quick feet.
The ball in the dirt. Now all of a sudden, Adam on his way, and he'll get there to third.
When Corcoran started turning circles around home plate, it became obvious that he couldn't locate the baseball. So Adam, sprinting around second base, not taking one base for granted, lines up at third. So on a wild pitch, Adam gets 180 feet instead of just 90.
Now the Rangers bring the infield in. That's not going to get it done. So Rosales throws him out. Right now, let's check out our picks to click. Manjo, our director and crew, they went with first time this year. I'll tell you, these guys down in the truck, they are biggest front runners. They're going with the Braves.
Do you believe that they?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
That's unbelievable.
He's going with the Roche. Connor Gillespie is my pick, along with Mike Mazza, Kenny Wiz, Nick Bristow, Pete Catazone, everybody in the ticket office. Tommy Sheridan, Rob Boaz. That breaking ball.
Martinez is liking that curveball today. This is a pretty good one, but on the first pitch, where hitters very rarely swing, you want to throw a strike with it. He kept it in the dirt. This time, Corcoran kept it in front of him.
And the count 2-0.
Odor way back on the grass. Andrus, however, is not on the first base side of second. He's on the third base side of second, just barely.
And there is ball 4. Runners at the corners, and here comes Melky. Melky 2 for 6 against Nick Martinez. Takes the bunt, takes the ball. Pulled a string on it, got a changeup over.
This is one of the first straight changes he's gotten in the zone. That's one of his better pitches. His control has not been good this first inning. Let's see if the boys can take advantage of it.
And the count now 1-2.
Going to go as another wild pitch. This ball bounces around for a bit, giving Adam LaRoche a chance to go to second base as Adam Eaton, realizing that that ball is staying somewhat in the neighborhood of Corcoran. Now Robin comes out.
They want a review of some sort. Yes, Melky.
They might have thought that ball hit Melky, and it looked like it did from that angle.
Yeah, that's what Robin wanted to know.
And if it did, of course, they're going to load him up for Alexei Ramirez. Melky's hopping. That should sell it.
Well, it's pick and choose who you want to play. Melky or Alexei.
From that angle, it looks like you got a piece of it. Absolutely hit him below the knee on that left leg.
Alexei on deck is 2 for 4 against Martinez. Well, while they're making a decision, we'll tell you, I should say, that Tampa Bay taking on Cleveland in Cleveland. Yankees hosting the Tigers, Boston and Kansas City. Cubs taking on the Twinkies at Target Field. Toronto leading Baltimore 2-1 6th inning up in Canada. Angels taking on the Athletics at the Coliseum. Pittsburgh just left here. They're taking on Bryce Harper and the Nasty Nats in Washington. Milwaukee's going to be at Denver taking on the Rockies. St. Louis and Philadelphia. Miami at Cincinnati. The Mets taking on the Braves down in Atlanta. San Francisco taking on the Dodgers in L.A. Houston, Seattle, San Diego is at Phoenix to take on the D-backs. Oh, we are getting some very long, very long reviews.
The only thing that keeps the opposing pitcher on the mound for a good period of time is not a bad thing.
Martinez just playing a little soft toss. With Portland. Wow.
This one seemed pretty obvious.
Well, you know, the thing is that when you first start up something, there's going to be some glitches. But this being the second year of it, seems to me that something else has got to be done, because this is just.
They're going to give him first.
Yeah.
And it seemed like that was an obvious call.
They're 3 minutes and 45 seconds to make that call. I mean, and they're trying to hasten the pace of the games. Now, something's wrong with that picture.
Now Mike Maddox coming out to have a talk with Nick Martinez. Jeff Bannister just shaking his head. Thought that was a particularly long review.
Sacks packed with Sox. And here's Alexei. He's at 222, a couple of homers, 24 knocked in. As I mentioned, 2 for 4 against Martinez. Alexei 0 for 4 last night. So he's due.
Time now for the AT&T U-verse multi-view. Good speed at third. Decent speed at first. And Adam at second.
Pop back, and that's going to be in the seats for a souvenir.
With the bases loaded. Pretty good. A lot of that damage accumulated in his first year.
Now that pitch is low and away. 2-1. So a big pitch coming up right here. A big pitch.
Martinez having all kinds of problems locating the plate.
Lacey got to be sitting dead red if he gets it. Turn it loose. If he doesn't, he's still got another one left. Or if it misses, now it's 3-1. After 1 inning, no score.
Brought to you by Miller Lite.
And let's take another look at this pitch, the 2-1. You'll see it's a changeup, but it's way high. And if you're looking for a fastball and you get a changeup that high up out of the zone, that's the way we're going right now. We're getting ourselves out. Instead of being 3-1, now all of a sudden he's got to come with a fastball.
And with Alexei, he doesn't have to zone hit. All he has to do is look for that pitch that he wants to hit, which is a fastball anyway. And if you see anything else, you just keep the bat back.
Yeah, that's the way we're going. That's the way we're going. Ryan Rua hitting at 190. He was 0 for 4 last night. Takes first pitch strike from Carlos Rodon. Ball hit sharply.
After last night's very tough loss, Chris Sale and his quote, "We have a bunch of fighters in here. We have the guys that come in here every day, play as hard as they can, plain and simple. We're a team. We're a family. And we're going to move forward. This is going to stop. We're going to win some more games." And certainly Chris Sale did. In his 8 innings of work, he couldn't have done any more to put the Sox in a position to win that one, but just didn't work out.
That was a very, very disappointing loss, but still, a loss like that last night is not, to me, the way I look at a baseball game. That's not something that just kills me because of the fact you're going to win 60, you're going to lose 60, what you do with those other 42. And in essence, it was a good baseball game. We just got beat. It's just that simple. You can look at all the other issues and the factors that involved in that game last and say, oh man, that was devastating. Well, it was disappointing. Is there Rosales draws the walk? What kills me is when we beat ourselves. We play very poor baseball, bad defense, bad thinking at the plate. That's what eats me up.
Now, last night was not one of those games, and you have to add it to Texas. They got to their hotel at 7:30 in the morning after a flight from Los Angeles. So they were a tired group, but they couldn't do anything. I mean, zero with Chris Sale. It's quite a performance.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy didn't pitch all bad either. Colby Lewis, he's now 6-0 in his last 6 decisions against us. Leonis Martin, 236, 4 homers, 21 knocked in.
Martin took a long look down to Tony Beasley, the third base coach. There's Lugatoni. Had to talk with him before the game yesterday. He's pretty pleased with the way the ball club is starting to take shape, especially after losing Beltre.
That's a big, big hurt for this ball club, not having Adrian Beltre.
Well, both ways, because he's a terrific fielder. He's a very good hitter overall, a very good clutch hitter.
Well, that's why it's a big hit.
Yeah.
Big loss. Well, you don't have anybody that's going to protect Prince Fielder more than Beltre, especially against left-handed pitching. And they get him. Close play at first. Meanwhile, track him up.
I think that Jeff Bannister might want to take a look at that. At least he's going to ask him to review it in the dugout. Now we'll see if he's going to go back out to the field with it. Right now, everybody is kind of in suspended animation, pending Steve Buechele and whether he gives him the thumbs up or thumbs down. Martin can run. I don't think he could run well enough to beat that throw, but
I thought he beat it in real time. But we shall see. Meanwhile, again,
they're going to take a look and see what happens.
Pretty soon it's going to be, if it continues this way, pretty soon it's going to be 3.5 to 4 hour normal 9-inning games.
Games again, yes, I know.
You and I don't care because we got nothing else to do, but there's a lot of fans that's the biggest thing I'm hearing. A lot of mail and everything else, and people that I meet, talk to, the length of the games.
Well, that's true.
You got it?
Looked to me like you got him when we saw that angle before.
His toe was up in the air,
Yep.
just getting ready to come down.
Now that angle, we can't tell.
If it's that close, then there's nothing going to be conclusive.
In which case, to remind you, the call on the field was the double play and out of the inning. Sox players have all come off the field, except for one.
Mike Leary, our producer, and I were just talking. His first pitch was at 110. He's at 147 now. We're in the bottom, if this ruling stands, bottom of the second inning, and there's only been one hit in the game.
but two reviews.
All right. Play stands, and we'll be back.
Chris Sale, we've been talking about him. 14 strikeouts, no runs, 2 hits, No walks. The 5th straight start with 12+ strikeouts ties the Major League record, held by Pedro Martinez, who did it 3 times, and Randy Johnson, who did it once. And he'll have a shot next time out to be all by himself atop that prestigious leaderboard.
It'll be Gillespie, Flowers, and Sanchez, lower third of our order here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Gillespie at .244, 3 homers, 14 knocked in. Takes ball 1. Now field straight up, spread out. Rosales well off the line at 3rd. And Moreland way off the line at 1st. And there's a base hit. Second inning in a row, we get the leadoff man aboard.
Celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the 2005 World Series Championship with a World Series Anniversary Pack. So you can choose 3 games from a World Series Championship Reunion weekend and the 3 World Series Moments bobblehead given away. You receive a 4th game in September or October for free. For full details, visit whitesox.com/2005pack.
Here's Tyler. He homered last night for our only tally. And he has homered off Martinez. Faced him 4 times, has 3 hits. And rack 'em up.
Andrews just sailed across the bag. It's a whole lot easier for a shortstop to make a double play coming from the second baseman than the second baseman to make a double play coming from the shortstop, because that play is in front of you and you get to determine what angle you want to take as you come across the bag. Second baseman has got to make it with that runner bearing down at him from behind, and he's got to use a couple of different tricks to get away from a sliding player intent on breaking up 2.
And years past, sliding player intent on breaking a leg.
You really had to worry before if you got a shot at you.
Believe it.
But that made guys a little quicker around the bag. They didn't hang around too long.
And the umpires let them get away with it. You didn't have to be on the bag as long as the ball beat you.
And a real tough thing was the slide and roll. You saw those guys that would slide, and all of a sudden they come up tumbling and hit the pivot man waist high and take him to the outfield.
And Carlos into center field. Get the leadoff man aboard again. Double play, fly out, and we're into the 3rd.
Top of the third inning, and I'm sitting here. The handsome man to my left is Mike Huff. You might remember Mike from the Bull Sox Academy, but also he was on once before. We had an overwhelming response to his appearance, and so we decided to put him on again because it's time for all of you youngsters to figure out a way to learn the fundamentals in both baseball and basketball. And Mike, tell us a little bit about how you go about doing that.
Well, thank you, Steve. It's all with the Bull Sox training academies. What Jerry Reinsdorf started 20 years ago was a way for us to take the knowledge of the White Sox coaches, the Bulls coaches, and bring them to the communities. And this summer we're going to be in over 60 communities, running over 100 camps, both for basketball and baseball, from the Wisconsin border through Northwest Indiana. 4 5-day camps where part of the specialness of these camps, besides learning the fundamentals, is that every camper is going to have the opportunity to come to the ballpark, get a behind-the-scenes tour, get to meet Ed Farmer, one of the Sox coaches, one of the Sox current players, and do some things that are very unique and only White Sox fans really get a chance to do.
And obviously you've worked with youngsters for a long time as well as oldsters, but a sound foundation is really the key to excelling at just about everything. And you guys at both the Bulls and the Sox Academy do just that for all the young people.
Well, you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, a little base hit out there for Corcoran. But what we're really focused on, just like you said, Steve, are the absolutes, the fundamentals that every major league team, every NBA team teaches their kids. There's always little nuances, but as you know, there's going to be some absolutes, some very basic fundamentals that every good pitcher, every good hitter has to learn. And those are the things that we try to reinforce. We have multiple drills, lots of different ways to do it. But if we can get those absolutes, those fundamentals, there's always a chance as these kids grow. Who's to say who's going to be the next Steve Stone on the mound or Hawk Harrelson behind hitting at the dish?
Well, we'll see what happens with that. However, that being said, tell us the phone number one more time because there's a chance that a few folks missed that.
That is 630-PLAY-BALL. Very simple, very easy. You can go to the website, www.bullsoxacademy.com, or again, 630-PLAY-BALL, and phone lines are open. Looking forward to seeing all the kids out this summer.
You're also going to get a chance to go to a camp that highlights Jim Thome and go to a camp that highlights Scott Posednik.
Yeah, we're very excited this year. We've had Jim come out a couple times in the past, but he was so excited working with the kids. And this year with the 2005 celebration going on, we're going to get Scotty Posednik to come out in August in Orland Park. But Jim Thome is actually doing 2 camps with us, one up in Winnetka next month and one out in Lisle in August.
Well, I have to tell you, it's a wonderful endeavor. Anytime you can work with kids and help them on their way and keep them out of other diversions they might otherwise get into by learning to love the game that we've loved, baseball, and the game that a lot of other people love, basketball, as well. I think it's a wonderful thing. You guys do a great job. I know that it's as good instruction as a youngster can get. So take advantage of it, all of you out there. If you want to get a real good handle on how to play these sports, you can't learn it from anybody better than these guys, and hopefully you'll take advantage of that this summer.
Thank you, Steve.
Mike, thank you very much. Always a pleasure to see you.
Always a pleasure to be seen up here. And again, a beautiful day. And I think it's about time we scored some runs on offense. What do you think?
Well, that would be pretty good, because Chris Sale can hardly throw any better than he did last night. Unfortunately, there was only one of those runs. And Carlos Rodon is throwing pretty well. But again, nobody's been able to figure out yet a way to win without scoring those runs. It makes it a lot easier if you get a bunch of them. That one missed wide of the plate, so it loads him up. It's 3-2. Corcoran doesn't have particularly good speed as he singled to start the inning. Outfield straight away. And Rugnet Odor. Soft fly ball. Adam Eaton calling. He'll make the catch. Corcoran has to return. And there's an out.
And that was nice communication out there in the outfield. I know there's times we've seen this year where outfielders haven't been communicating to the infielders to the outfield, but that one you can clearly see those guys were talking, Adam calling them off, and at the end, even Avasale kind of nodding, saying, I heard you that time. That's your ball, take it.
You're looking at Shin-Soo Choo. Not doing a whole lot this year, but 8 home runs, 32 driven in for a leadoff hitter isn't bad. Outfield playing him straight away. And you got to be careful if you leave one inside, because this guy does not mind getting hit to get on base.
What are some of the things that you've liked so far from seeing Rodon so far on the mound? as a youngster.
I love his slider, and I love the fact that when he really wants to go back and get a little something extra, he's got 97 sitting there, and that helps a lot. What he's going to learn is what Chris Sale showed last night, which is the ability to throw what looks like a fastball, but instead of 97, it's 91. And that's the only reason that kept Prince Fielder in the ballpark when he hit that rocket. If that was his regular fastball at 97, that ball would have gone out of the ballpark because he would have been right on it. As it was, it rotated off the sweet spot of the bat and turned into a line drive out.
As a pitcher, is it a different pressure point on the ball when you're throwing it, trying to take a few miles off?
This could be two. Throw to second for one. Back to first and out of the inning. So, no, it's usually not the pressure. You tuck it back in your hand. And we'll move to the bottom of the third with no score. And it's the second of two double plays turned in 3 innings. This one right back at Carlos, who takes his time, makes a good solid throw. Alexi on the sandwich end of this double play. And they turn it easy.
Oh, 2-0 for us, 0-1-0 for them here in the bottom of the third inning. It'll be the top of the order. Eaton, Garcia, and Abreu.
A beautiful day at the ballpark. Wind is starting to kick up somewhat. It's still 77 degrees. But I would assume now that tracking down a fly ball is going to be a little more difficult than when this game started. It is starting to really pick up. Looks like those wind gusts anywhere from 25 to 35 miles an hour.
Adam had a nice first at bat. So a lot of pitches. And then finally, the base hit into left field. We got to third. We had him at third on a wild pitch. He went 2 bases, not just 1. And couldn't get him in. That's another thing we have been doing. Man on second, nobody out, leaving them right there. Man on third, less than 2 out, leaving them right there.
That pitch was down. Adam Eaton talking with Phil Cuzzy, but Phil Cuzzy's been consistent on the low pitch. He's giving the low pitch to both pitchers.
We are 1 for 8 in this series with men in scoring position. And he got thrown out.
Just a couple of pretty good relays.
That was beautiful from a baseball standpoint. That was a beautiful play by Texas.
Martin has their best arm in the outfield, and Andrus with a very good arm in the infield.
Had another base hit. Third inning in a row, we have the leadoff man aboard with a hit. Ivy went out to left field. Shoves that one into right. Chu quickly gets to it, gets it back in.
Did a good job of taking that ball to right field. It had to be an inside-out swing as this one was down and in.
That's why I like the idea of putting him in the 2-hole.
Yeah. Doesn't overswing, doesn't have to do too much, just wants to move along at him with whatever he can. It turns into gold with one off the end of the bat.
Well, that became one of the most significant moves in White Sox franchise history back in 1983.
Carlton Fisk moved into the 2 spot.
That's it. That's it. He moved into the 2 spot, and we were struggling at the time. In fact, we started off 14-26 that year. 14-26.
Was he able to actually move the ball around?
Yes, he was. He made it because he understood the responsibilities of a 2-hole hitter. That's the whole key. If you understand it and you put a guy there, even if he's a big, strong guy like Fisk, then he took that and he just ran with it, and all of a sudden that offense started clicking. We got a man on second base, nobody out. Fisk wouldn't get him over to third or get him in.
This will be an interesting confrontation because in a similar situation, but Adam Eaton was at third. The infield was in at all 4 positions, and Martinez threw the ball right in on the hands of Jose, and he trickled it to third base. Let's see if he's looking for something in there again.
Well, in my career, playing and broadcasting, anytime that you get a strong guy at the plate like Jose is, and you get him in a situation that's very dangerous to you, it has been. As there's a base hit. It has been, and they're going to have to hold him now as Chu will get it back in, hits the cutoff man. The best place to go in a situation like that is right underneath the hands. He got away from him right there. Boom, base hit in the right field.
Yeah,
so the same thing happened last night. 3 hits in an inning. We couldn't score.
That was a fastball that was right down the middle. He just reached down and got it. Now we'll see if Adam LaRoche can break something open.
Adam drew a walk his first trip. Outfield, for the most part, just about straight up. Equidistant spread as that pitch misses outside.
Got a pretty good chance that he's not going to strike out Adam, because he has fanned just 1 hitter of the last 25 over the last 2 games from the left side.
Oh yeah, catbird seat, 2-0.
Brewer, the bases loaded. Pretty good.
That's into left field. That's going to get the job done. And here is Javi going into third base. He gets there, and it's 1-0 Sox. Good job by LaRoche. Not trying to do too much. Don't turn the head of the bat over. Get your fly ball, get him in.
25th run driven in. A 1-0 lead. And Adam now with just his first first. Sacrifice fly.
There's Melky. He was hit by a pitch in the foot. What the Texas announcers are saying right now is if he can get out of this just giving up the 1 run.
It's throw you a ground ball, get the double play, and turn it over to the offense.
Drops a hook on him. Nice crowd on hand on Daddy-Daughter Day. Got him again.
Well, it's a nice idea, but Javi's going to have to go back to third. Mike Maddox is going to go to the mound. Melky takes a second one. It hit him on the hop, but it doesn't matter. It's still hit by pitch, and you go to first base. The ball is dead, and they're all loaded up again.
He's not mad so much at getting hit. He's mad because he's not going to get a chance to knock that run in. So here's Alexa. He came to the plate. Bases loaded. 2 out. First inning. Had a 2-1 count. Swung at a high ball 3. And hit a little comebacker to the pitcher.
Mike Maddox has had his say. 13 years as a major league pitching coach. 6 of them with Milwaukee Brewers. Now 7 with these Rangers. They're very happy to have him, and they really enjoy having him around. When he starts to get their injured pitchers back, they're going to have a pretty decent staff.
Well, we got 2 of the better pitching coaches in baseball in this park today. Our Don Cooper and here Mike Maddox.
And there's no doubt about that.
That's low, but Phil's been having a low strike zone today so far. Count evens at 1.
Melky's got to get a good secondary lead, and he's able to do that with Moreland way off the bag. As you look at the runners on the loaded bases, Melky's got to break up 2 on a ground ball, get a run.
Another low strike call. That one had the plate. And now the count 1-2. If you're the on deck hitter right now, in this case Connor Gillespie, you gotta have a frame of mind. I know it sounds bad, I know it sounds selfish, but it's not, and I'll explain why. That ball's booted by Elvis Andrus. 2 runs are going to score, and it's 3-0.
Andrus was taking for granted that it was going to be 2, and he took his eye off the ball.
Wow, perfect double play ball.
It's 2 and out of the inning if he just catches it. But Andrus this year has had a very bad defensive year. This is going to be his 13th error. Takes his eye off. It's going to be an easy flip to Odor. Ball is hit with something on it.
That is a shocker. So that will be an RBI for Alexi. Can't assume a double play. And now here's Gillespie with 1 out runners at the corner. Don't stop now, boys.
Well, elaborate on your thought about what he should be thinking coming up.
He should be hoping that Alexi strikes out.
So that he doesn't hit into a double play and keeps the inning alive.
And the reason being, that's popped up. And the thought behind that is, and this makes the catch for out number 2, is instead of being on the on-deck circle, pulling for him, all of a sudden he does strike out or pop up. Now all of a sudden the chances are the guy's just, oh, now it's on me. Rather than, I hope he strikes out. I'm going to knock that guy in. That's the mindset you've got to have. You've got to have the mindset that when you walk in that box, that guy's in trouble out there on the mound, not you. You got to transfer that pressure out to him, not you take it up to the plate with you. So I say, uh-oh, now it's on me. I got to do it.
Well, if the ball club can get some semblance of that particular attitude, I like what Chris Sale said in his comments after the game last night. He said, we're going to win one coming up here, and then after we win that, we're going to win a lot more. And if they have the belief on this team that they're going to do that, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't.
Well, the more I'm around and see Chris, not obviously his pitching, it's just the more I love that guy because of the fact he's got so much Mark Burley in him, it's not even funny.
They do it a little different way. They're both equally as intense competitors. I think in their own way, certainly by example, and sometimes vocally, they'll lead.
It's hard for a pitcher to be a leader on the club, but Chris Sale, right now,
he's
probably the leader of the club.
Yeah, he's getting there. He absolutely said all of the right things last night with the idea of there's no finger pointing here. We're a team. We're a family. I'm not going to single anybody out to say they're not doing this and they're not doing that. We all do it together one way or the other.
Watch out. That hit it. So that'll load him up again for the 3rd time this inning.
Well, we told you early in this game that Martinez just doesn't have his control today. Rides that ball up and in and gets him right on the tricep. I think it's above that pad. So that one's going to hurt a little bit.
Well, he's hit 12 guys this year. Come on, Carlos. Carlos 0 for 1 went out to Martin in the center field. No, but getting back to that thought process, you have got to get yourself ready, and you have got to find your own fingerprint on how to take pressure off you and transfer it out there. Very quickly, the count 0-2.
Well, you know, when Chris is rolling right along or Rodon is rolling right along, maybe not quite as much with Rodon because he's much younger, but Jeff Samardzija is having a good time, or Jose Quintana, they truly believe that they're never in trouble. Because
Right.
the hitter has to hit it, and all those guys are pretty tough to square up.
I love our pitching staff.
And last time out, I thought after that first inning that Johnny Danks threw the ball exceptionally well. He just had a tough first. But once having the tough first, your job is very simple. Don't give many more runs, and Johnny didn't.
And Johnny's every bit as good a competitor as there is on this ball club. It's there. Out in front of that off-speed pitch. Count hangs at 0-2.
Not a whole lot of pitches for the game, but the 30th pitch of the inning. So a lot of work here for Nick Martinez.
Got him. Could not pull the trigger, but we get 3 runs, 2 of them of the gift variety. We'll take it. We need them, and we lead us 3-0.
with a division rival, Twinkies. So coverage begins at 6:30 with White Sox pregame live, presented by Lexus of Orland and Marigold on CSN Chicago. You know, that thought process we were just discussing there is not unlike Michael Jordan when he was playing with the Bulls. You're down 5 points with 20 seconds to go. He didn't want anybody else to get that ball. He wanted the ball. He wants the ball.
Absolutely.
You got some guys that don't want anything to do with that ball.
There's a lot of guys that don't want the ball.
They don't want to touch it. And it's amazing how fast, when the ball's passed to them or they get it out of their hands. Michael wanted that ball.
I remember Horace in '93 flipping it back to Paxson.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
With Danny Ainge on him, and Danny Ainge turned around when he realized that he is out of position, that Horace was never going to take that shot, and there was Pax.
Yep.
Nice talking to you. Come back next year.
Elvis walked his first trip, and the count 0-2. Yeah, give me those guys that want the ball. Give me those guys that want to knock in that run. Give me that pitcher that wants Maddox, Greg Maddox. Talking with him, playing golf with him one day in the Smoltz tournament. And he said, Hawk, he says, you know, I was asking about his thought processes, his philosophy. I love to talk with great pitchers. Oh, nice play. Tough off. 1 out. But Greg says, you know, when I get in a jam, I get the bases loaded or situate a tight ball game. He says, I don't want their 7th, 8th, and 9th hitters coming up there. I want the best they got.
Well, that's how you win 355 games.
Exactly right.
That's how
he said, I
do it.
want the best hitters they got coming up there.
Well, he had a secret weapon that a lot of those hitters didn't know about, and that was that he was better than they were. And he wasn't afraid to show it to them every chance he got for many, many, many years.
He has some of the biggest stones ever to hit that bump.
Especially with the stuff that probably second half of his career, you looked at that stuff and you wondered how he got it done. Then you realize that he could throw it exactly where he wanted to. It was almost like he was standing in front of the catcher and placing it into the glove.
Brent struck out on a couple of wicked sliders. That's a little too low. And the count 2-1.
Carlos thrown it pretty well so far. Control has not been as good as he would like, but he's thrown the double play ground ball when he's had to.
Thrown 2 of them. 6-4-3 in the second, 1-6-3 in the third. He gone.
He just outguessed him there.
Prince looking for that slider and got to express.
He outguessed him. He got 95 in a perfect spot on our Honda pitch tracks. And wait a second, youngster, you're not supposed to throw me that.
Good call by Tyler.
I think he's handled Rodon very well in his opportunities to catch him.
Here's Mitch. He struck out swinging on a fastball his first trip. Little spinner on first pitch. Taken, as it most of the time will be.
That spinning first pitch is really the only time when that get me over breaking ball is a good pitch. Because hitters just don't want to hit it. They want to hit a fastball.
And you get probably 90% of the pitchers that think it's a great pitch on 3-2.
Well, he usually winds up in the outfield somewhere.
Or in the seats.
In the seats. A real good baseball man once told me you can't strike anybody out on strike one, so don't show them your best. Because you got nothing back to come with that's any better than what you just showed them.
That's so true. That's so true from a hitting standpoint. You go up there and all of a sudden you face a guy the first 2 times up. And then in 6th inning, 7th inning, you got a man on third and 1 out, nobody out. And here comes a fastball 6 inches quicker.
Yeah.
Or a slider that's about
twice as quick as the ones you've seen before.
Well, you, of course, watched a whole lot of Hal McRae during his time, and I faced him in spring training. I remember throwing him a really good curveball. And he looked out at me. He said, "You're supposed to save that for the season, not in spring training. Don't show it to me now." I mean, he didn't have to say that. That was a pretty nice thing to say. He could hit anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Al was a smart hitter. Doubles machine. And a guy who would absolutely, on the bases, knock you, if you're a shortstop or second baseman, knock you into the left field.
We were talking about that earlier on the double play, and McRae was as good as anybody at going in.
He gone. Slider. It's 3-0 good guys.
The first 1,000 children's tickets purchased through this special ticket offer are invited to an exclusive pre-game child's autograph session. Visit whitesox.com/autographs for tickets and more information.
3-0 White Sox. It'll be the top of the order. Eaton, Garcia, and Abreu. Adam, 2 for 2. Started off that 3-run third with a solid single into left field. He also singled softly into left field, leading off the bottom of the first. First pitch strike from Nick Martinez.
Adam is still one of the big keys. If he gets on, as he did, even though he didn't score in the first inning, Martinez had to use up a lot of pitches. Then when he did get on in the third again, he did score.
Takes that strike. That one at 90. And that's popped up. Martin.
White Sox fans, come watch our Chicago White Sox take on the Baltimore Orioles on Friday, July 3rd at 7:10. Be sure to stay for the postgame fireworks show presented by Shark Week, which starts Sunday, July 5th on Discovery. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com. Promos.
Here's Avi. He had a solid single and scored last inning. That's the pitch that Avi has really had problems the last week or so, laying off a curveball, breaking ball, slider, down out of the zone. Oh, 0-2. That spin kicks it foul. Sox, after the finale of the series tomorrow, head on out for a nice road trip. They'll have 3 in Minnesota, 4 in Detroit, and 2 in St. Louis. And this soft line drive on the exploding bat.
Actually, the bat went a little bit farther than the ball. Fortunately, that stayed in the field of play and away from Adam Rosales. The line drive goes to Andrews.
Here's Jose. He had a solid single to right field and scored last inning. Road trip coming up. 9 games in 10 days.
And Victor Martinez is back with the Tigers.
They're going to start winning some more ball games.
They're going to be a whole lot better now that the right-handers have a little something to worry about. Not that Cabrera was not hitting anyway, but they'll have some protection.
The ball was scalded, and a nice pick right there by Odor. So we're into the 5th, 3-0.
And listen to the people you're going to have a chance to take a selfie with. Chris Sale's going to be there. Jeff Samardzija is going to be there. Zach Duke will be there. Jake Petrichka will be there. And Daniel Webb will also be there. And tickets are available at WhiteSox.com. New promotion, Selfie Sunday. And there are tickets available for tomorrow.
Ryan Rua, top of the 5th inning, will lead it off. Hit the ball sharply to Sanchez at second. Takes ball 1. Change up, low and away.
He's really kept the pitches down to a relative minimum. That's what happens when you only give up 1 hit. And as you can see, a rough spot in the first inning, as most pitchers will have, but only 20 pitches with a couple of strikeouts and a walk.
We've had our share of rough first innings.
Yes,
I mean,
indeed.
It's just been unbelievable. We have given up more runs in the first inning than any team in baseball.
And on the other side of the coin,
we have scored fewer runs in the first inning than any team in baseball.
Not a good combination.
Off the glove.
That's the second hit. And the carom took it away from Alexi also. So if he gets a clean carom, he might have a chance. As it was, no.
And if you want some numbers on that first inning, we have been outscored 56 to 19 in the first inning. 56 to 19. So here's Rosales. He walked his first trip.
Who was thinking about doing the same thing that Adam Eaton did. The only difference was that Keller Flowers located where the ball was. So that will go as a wild pitch.
There's a strike. Count evens at 1. Yeah, we've given up 37 more runs than we've scored. Two and one. Two and two. That ball hit high, slicing foul in the seats.
That time he missed one, although Carlos reached back, got a little something extra on it. It was up and out over the plate. Rosales doesn't mind fastballs, judging by his good lifetime numbers against Chris Sale. But Chris neutralized him last night. He was born at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Raised for a while in the city before moving to Park Ridge, where his parents still live.
Well, against us, he's played like it also.
Yeah, he has. What he says he likes about Jeff Bannister is that he's a part-time player. He's playing a lot more now, obviously, with all of the left-handed starters for the Sox. Normally he doesn't do this. He said Jeff understands because he had a hard time getting the major leagues. He was, however, the kid who batted 1,000, got 1 hit in 1 at bat. But he says he'll come and talk to me. He'll come and talk to all the extra men and let them know that he appreciates them and stay ready.
Trouble of brewing. First 2 men aboard. 3rd walk issued by Carlos.
And that goes back to what you were talking about, Hawk, with communication today probably being more important than it's ever been as far as a managerial style is concerned.
Chemistry is more important than it's ever been, because with the exception of some rookies, everybody, all of you sitting at home watching this game, and all the people in the stands here who are watching this game, everybody on that field that you see on that field, player, with the exception of a few rookies, is a millionaire.
They are that, yes. Yeah.
And some of them multi-millionaires. And so when you get that situation there, the leverage we had to grow up. You had to grow up with it, and I did even more so in my time frame than you. I was a decade prior to you. That leverage is gone.
I always thought one of the greatest motivating factors in anything, not just baseball or any sport, but in all walks of life, is the economic incentive of doing your job especially well. When you take away that economic incentive, then it comes from deep down inside. It's the pride you have to go out there every day and leave it on the field. That's
yeah, you didn't have much trouble. I think one key word today that has diminished quite a bit over the years with the salaries going on is motivation. It's very, very tough. That's what Michael and I, Jordan and I, were playing golf, and we were talking about this one time, and we were talking about a particular White Sox player, and finally he said something that caused me to say, Michael, well, how do you do it day in and day out? Because basketball is a very difficult schedule. How do you do it? He said, I have to continually find ways to motivate myself. He said, and there are all kinds of motivating issues out there. You just got to find it. Because there's the bunt. It's a good one. So 1 out. Ducks on the pond.
I always felt that the motivation for players should be, and again, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. You're going to make a whole lot of money if you do this job well. The motivation then has to be, you got to get that ring. There's a lot of guys that played their whole life. They never got a chance to even see the World Series except on television or maybe if they bought a ticket. But getting that ring is all the motivation that any player should want.
Well, they're not. There are some guys that, yes, they do that. And there are some guys, what I think you want to look for are guys who will play as hard for the minimum salary as they would for $50 million. That's the person you want to try to get. The TW, guys who have the will to win. Corbin can't get it. He's single, picked up the first hit leading off the 3rd inning off Carlos. Yeah, chemistry today is more important than it's ever been. And managers, X's and O's are getting less and less important as compared to the other. There's a base hit in the right field. So 1 run's going to cross the plate. He just reached out and poked. That's a good piece of hitting.
For a guy that came in hitting just 169, he's 2 for 2 today. And he reaches out, takes a ball out of the zone on our Honda pitch tracks and dumps it into right field. So now Don Cooper, for the first time today, is going to come out and have a word with his young left-hander. It's now a 2-run lead with runners at the corners and only 1 out.
I remember in that conversation with Michael, and I said, well, give me a couple examples of how might motivate yourself. He said, all right. He said, well, I might be reading the paper the next morning. We had a game that night, and I'll be reading the paper in the morning, and I see where this guy, Sammy Smith, Jimmy Jones, wherever it was, scored 42 points. He said, I just say to myself, well, I'll take care of that.
He won't have them 2 in a row, huh?
I mean, that's what he did. The big hurt. Same way. He said, well, I'd read the paper. I see where Sammy Smith, Jimmy Jones went 3 for 4 with a couple home runs. I'll take care of that. That ball is foul. Odor went out to center field.
This season started, and they thought that Odor was going to be playing every day, all year long, with no problems. What happened was, like a lot of youngsters, he got very much over anxious and started to swing at everything, nose to toe strike zone, and eventually, if you have that in this league, they will get you out. This guy, however, does have a lot of talent.
Runners at the corners, 1 out. A 3-1 ball game here in the top of the 5th if you're just tuning in. And there's Sanchez goes to second. Can they turn it? No. Good effort by Sanchez and Alexei, and it's a 3-2 ball game. So the walk crosses.
And the speed of that double play would have gotten most of them, but not Odor as he got down the line quickly. This is about as fast as you can do it, considering that he had to go to his left. Alexei comes across. And RBI number 14 for Odor.
And here's Chu. Chu was grounded to first and then hit into a 1-6-3 double play. Takes ball 1. I was driving in this morning and I was listening to my XM and the Golf Channel. Hank Haney was on. They just can't get that one. And everybody's interested in how Tiger is shooting 85 and then shooting 16 over and missing the cut. And Hank was talking about that. He's getting calls. He said what really concerned him a little bit is what Tiger's best friend, Nota Begay, said. Nota is his friend and his confidant. Nota said he was concerned about motivation. There's a slider strike. Is he motivated enough to go out there and pay the price like he did when he was young? Is he motivated enough to go out there and spend all that time on the practice range to get back to where he can get out of that hole he's in? Mental hole.
Only motivation that he needs is take a look at those majors that Jack Nicklaus has and see if he wants to get there.
You would think.
Yeah.
There he goes. Got a big jump. He got a Lance Johnson jump right there. Picks up his 3rd stolen base.
Well, that's a decision you just make. You're going on first move. You're going on first move, and if they throw you out, well, you lead off with your leadoff hitter next inning anyway. But he got a running start, and Tyler, no reason even to think about throwing it. The only thing you can do is get yourself in trouble.
He gone. Good pitch. But they come up with a pair. We're halfway home. We lead at 3-2.
introduced Andrew Shaw.
I was going to say, thank you, Art Chuck, and they were listening to you intently, and then Andrew Shaw was introduced, and seemingly they were very interested in him.
Ah, man, what a team, what a team. You've heard me say it a lot before.
That was just a little bit ago.
To me, they're the most exciting team in all the sports.
Yeah, we talked about what it takes to win the Stanley Cup, and it's just that you play so many different teams with so many different styles. You have to be so versatile to win it, because you're going to play a big hitting team one round. They're going to play a speed team. They're going to play a team that plays just great defense, and maybe another team that has lightning speed with great offense and good shooters. So you have to be a well-rounded team to get there, and the Blackhawks certainly showed they were.
They just find a way to win.
Yeah, they do.
They just find a way to win. TW. 3-1 to count. Adams walked and has a sacrifice fly. And he walks again.
He leads this team in walks, actually by a wide margin.
Melky twice has been hit by a pitch. Once in the foot, once in the leg. Takes the bunt, takes the ball. Ball gets away.
Well, he's out at first base. He holds on.
We catch a big break.
Moreland just missed an easy one. Should not come as much of a surprise, seeing as this team last year was a pretty bad defensive bunch. In fact, only Cleveland in the major leagues was worse than the Rangers, and this year they're second from the bottom. Only Oakland in the American League is worse than them defensively.
There's a base hit right off the end of the bat into center field, so now that could be a big play. Well, there's another thing we talk about scoring, team arrow. That should have been an arrow on for Moreland.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, it's just not fair to the pitchers.
Well, they also like to tell you that you can't anticipate the out, but you actually can anticipate the out if he catches a routine throw. And the team error would be a good column from that if they ever decide they want to get to that, as Mike Maddox comes out one more time.
So we have 1 out, 2 on, and Gillespie coming to the plate. If you think about it and put it and do the math on it, almost every scoring play by official scorer is detrimental to the pitcher.
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, that's the way it's written out.
Do the math. That's it.
And the Ranger pen starts to work. We lost Detweiler, who was recently aggravated.
Gillespie 1 for 2. Curveball strike.
Detweiler came over from Washington, where he spent all of last year, 47 appearances, a 4.0 ERA. And he's loosening up in a hurry.
2-2 the count. That 82-mile-an-hour changeup. Two down.
Sox fans, join us on Saturday, July 4th at 1:10 as our White Sox take on the Orioles. The first 20,000 fans will receive a Bobby Jenks World Series Moment bobblehead presented by Comcast Sportsnet. For tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com/promos.
Only the second strikeout for Martinez. And here's Tyler. Tyler's 0 for 1, and he was hit by a pitch. Right on the corner at the knees, 0-1. Come on, Tyler, one time, buddy. Take him in the right center field. Breaking ball, no. 2-1.
He did a nice job of laying off that one because that one came up tantalizingly close to the outside corner before sweeping away. Pretty good breaking ball.
That's one of the reasons, I should say, that we're seeing so many Tommy John surgeries. You have a good breaking ball today with the seams as flat as they are on that baseball. Boy, you're really putting a strain on that elbow and shoulder.
I think that, and obviously if you're talking about the curveball, certainly, and I think also because of the tremendous depth that guys want to get on sliders these days.
Well,
instead of just going over the top, you know, you're talking about the break sometimes. The break is 2.5, 3 feet.
So walk, second walk of the inning. And that'll bring up Carlos, who's 0 for 2. He's going out to center and struck out. Called out on a fastball inside corner. Yeah, when you these, the baseball day is almost like a cue ball. I'll guarantee you there's maybe a handful of guys that you can hear a breaking ball on today. You used to be able to hear from a hitting standpoint a bunch of guys because the seams were so big.
That was kind of nice for those of us who threw the curves.
That's right to third. He's going to step on the bag, and that'll take care of that. We're into the 6th.
get to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right. On StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the ChicagoWhiteSox.com.
No.
Father-daughter day at the ballpark. And pretty good crowd on hand.
Oh, yeah. Sixth inning. We lead at 3-2. We've had the bases loaded 5 times today. And if Andrus doesn't make the error, it would be a 2-1 Ranger lead.
No. Well, this is where Fielder is going to be dangerous because he's been up twice. He's fanned twice. Now it's his third look. The very talented young left-hander.
Two 2-0 to Andrus, who has walked and grounded to third.
Jake Petrichka loosening up in the bullpen.
And a full count. The pick, peg. Whew. One out.
That's twice that Andrus hit the ball awfully hard right at Connor. He's looking back, wondering how he made the play.
So here's Prince. Struck out swinging on a slider. He saw a couple of them in that first at bat, and then he got called out on a fastball in the fourth when he was looking for the slider. And that's what, well, you got a cookie right there and missed it. But that's what having good stuff gets you. You get guys in between.
I think every mile an hour you tack on your fastball allows you to make just a little bit less of a good pitch and get some strikes. Getting guys out in the strike zone is a very difficult thing to do in the major leagues. There's not a lot of pitchers can do it because their stuff's just not good enough, so they have to get them out of the zone. If you got 97 as Rodon has, you can make the occasional mistake in the zone and they'll pop it up or miss it.
There's a good strike. What's that old saying that in our society, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer?
That's the big advantage.
Well, it always has been and always will be. Sanchez got to hurry. Nice play.
Take a look at these numbers. When they traded for Prince Fielder, 2015 numbers are what they were looking for. He got hurt last year. 247, 3 home runs, 16 driven in. On base percentage still pretty good at 360, but this year unbelievable at 407, and slugging percentage, well, you can see he dwarfs that. This guy that missed 13 games his entire career until last year, when he missed probably 75% of the year.
Well, we all missed him last year. Missed watching him play, missed watching him on the highlights. As there's a base hit into left field by Moreland. And Melky's going to hold him with a perfect peg to second to a single. Yeah, Prince. We're seeing more and more guys come into this game. And of course, Prince has been here for a while, but he's one of my favorite players to watch. And we're seeing more and more young players that are just fun to watch.
I think what happened with Prince was when he came to the big leagues, he didn't really know exactly how to deal with things and how to act in certain situations. And it was very quickly into his Milwaukee career when he went from a teammate who was okay to a great teammate. When you talk to his teammates now, they absolutely love playing with him. They also say he's one of the funniest guys in the major leagues to be around. Not to mention the fact that when you're leading the league in hitting, you're more than leading by example. He's going out there every day, and if you watch him, you're going to see everything he's got, every chance he gets on a baseball field.
You'll never see him dog it. Rua, 0-2. Ryan is 1 for 2 with a run scored.
.101. That's one of the reasons why Jake is loosening up in case Carlos has some further difficulties here in the 6th.
That's high into right center field. Proverbial can of corn, and that'll retire the side. It's still 3-2 good guys. Fire looked to avenge an earlier loss and scorched the scoreboard against DC United. Coverage begins at 7 on CSN Plus. Adam Eaton, 2 for 3 with a run scored, will lead us off here in our half of the 6th inning. 2-4 and a huge one for them. 3-6-0 for us.
Tomorrow, if you want to get a look at that Stanley Cup, come on out here, because it's going to be here. It'll be an exciting day. It also will be Father's Day. And for those of you who still have your dad around, you got to appreciate each and every one of these Father's Days. Treat him well, get him something nice, take him to a good place to eat. Because all these memories you have eventually will be what you will be left with.
Don't forget about the grandfathers as well.
If they're around, that's great.
That ball hit hard, but Martine's a good one. Position perfectly, makes the catch. And in some cases, great grandfathers. Here's Avi, 1 for 3 with a run scored. Curveball strike.
Nico going to get you a car?
Nico and Alexander spent the night with us last night.
He's running a little low on funds.
He took some this morning. There's a play that Andrus normally makes. Didn't make that one. Elvis with that big error earlier, and we talked to him yesterday. He is just a ton of talent, but he's having a tough year off defensively.
He certainly is. That should be a base hit because of the spin of the ball and the hop, but it's not. It's charged E6, second one.
Yeah, I agree. That could have easily been scored a base hit.
Zach Putnam loosening into pen as the Sox looking for a little insurance, and this is the time to do it. The third time through the order against Nick Martinez. Third time through the order. Hitters hitting close to 400 against him over the last 2 months.
Here's Abreu. He's 1 for 3. Curveball strike. That probably the best curveball he's thrown all day right there. He's thrown some pretty good ones. Outfield straight up, spread out about equidistant. And tries to buzz him inside. Short lead. Watch out. Joe McEwing.
He did a nice job of getting under that one. Spunky little infielder in his playing days. Deciding to get out of the way of that. Nice idea. Wise choice.
Two and two the count to Jose.
Trying a double play. This could very well be Martinez's last batter.
Rack them up. And we're into the 7th.
Patio tickets are all inclusive with purchase. You receive a game ticket and can enjoy an all-you-can-eat buffet catered by Baseball Buffet. Oh, I love those. You also get wine and Miller and Pepsi beverages. patio opens 90 minutes prior to the game and closes 30 minutes after the start of the game. To purchase tickets, visit whitesox.com/group. All you can eat buffet. What a great idea. And there's Zach Putnam as he comes into the ball game for the 24th time. He's 1-2 his ERA. Just about 3 3/4. Lately, that splitter's been just outstanding. He's piled up 32 strikeouts. And his control has been very good with it. Didn't start out that good this year, but it's gotten better and better as he's moved along. And so he inherits a 1-run lead. Nice job by Carlos Rodon. He went 6 innings, gave up just 2 runs on 4 hits, walked 3, fanned 5, got out of some very difficult jams, had only one 1-2-3 inning, but he threw a couple of ground ball double plays. And all in all, he acquitted himself pretty well. And Joey Gallo will have a look at Zach Putnam.
Adam Rosales, good day at the plate. He walked twice and scored a run. 3-2, our guys lead it as there's first pitch strike. Joey Gallo, tremendous power. 42 home runs last year, 40 home runs the year before.
Well, he couldn't get it done with the bat last night. It was a tough night for him. 4 strikeouts, but on the other side of the coin, he made 2 excellent plays, over one by the tarp and one by the stands, to take down a couple of hitters.
Well, for 8 innings last night, it was a tough one. Every Ranger hit.
And Zach Duke loosening in the pen.
Jacks it up. He did not go. Big hat. Count 3-2.
Leaving nothing to the imagination with that one as he tried to hit it 8 miles.
What's he can do?
Waiting on deck. Yeah, he can hit it as far as anybody around.
He gone.
Strikeouts continue. 2 splitters in a row.
Sox in this 8-game losing streak have lost 5 games by 1 run, and 2 games by 2 runs. So I'll tell you, our pitching has been, well, let's put it this way, reframe that. Pitching is not the problem. Defense and hitting has been the problem. Leonis Martin 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt. High, deep,
and foul.
Right size. Leonis, wrong shape, buddy.
Fortunately, he just did get out ahead of that one. I think Martin talked to Corcoran to look in the dugout and say, "Are you sure it's foul?"
Bannister wants to talk to crew chief Jerry Davis at first base. He's lost his review. Now you can ask him, though, for a review. And as long as they're going to do that, they might as well not even worry about it.
If you lose your challenge and they accept all the reviews, there's no real incentive not to challenge everything.
A lot of loose ends to be tied up in that picture. But Joe Torre and John Schuerholz will get it done eventually. Two great guys, Joe and John. We've already had 6 minutes and 13 seconds worth of reviews in this game.
This ball was hit awfully high. That might make things a little more difficult. Fortunately, it was ruled foul.
Well, again, it's got to be conclusive.
Yeah, and it's going to be a difficult thing to do, I believe, to see that conclusively.
Either way.
Yeah.
Had he called it either way. If you're just tuning in, we scored 3 runs in the 3rd inning. We had the bases loaded 3 times in that 3rd inning. And except for the error, we would have only scored 1 run. And they came back with 2 in the top of the 5th. And that's where we stand right now. All right, let's take another look, see if we can. Well,
yeah, the problem is with the clouds and the general gray skies, just have a hard time tracking that ball.
Well, what they're going to be looking at because of that is just where it landed. That's about the only thing they could be looking at, if that's the only shot that New York has. But they have 2 cameras we don't have and 2 different angles that we don't have.
Well, the way the camera is situated and seeing the ball to the right of the pole, your first inclination is to say that it was foul. And Avi, who was the closest to it, closer than any umpires, closer than anybody, says it was foul. Of course, he has a rooting interest in this. So, although I certainly agree with the veracity with which he goes about everything he does, I would say that he would lean on the side of foul.
Second time in the day there's been a challenge against crew chief Jerry Davis. And it's foul. Jerry said, "You challenging me?" 334 on that review.
Knocking at the door of 10 more minutes of reviews through the 3 we've had so far.
9:47, 9 minutes 40 seconds. He gone, so close, and yet so far.
Another one of those splitters. And now Carlos Corcoran will turn around from the first time today and hit from the left side.
Well, that splitter is such a field pitch right there. And lately, Zach is just absolutely. He's been terrific. Taking a little something off of it.
I was going to say, this is what he looked like last year when he was getting everybody out all the time.
He's just been awesome. As we talked about, nothing wrong with our pitching. We have real good pitching. But it doesn't make any difference if you don't catch it, and then you got to score some runs. Two out, 0-2 the count. Oh yeah, strikes out the side. 7th inning stretch. We lead it by 1.
Play third base. And the left-hander Ross Detweiler comes on for the 11th time. You've heard about guys being in the right place at the right time. He's been in the wrong place at the wrong time. In the 10 games, he's 0-5 with an ERA of 7.20. And let's take a look at Zach Putnam and his afternoon so far. If indeed that's going to be it, it's going to be 3 up, 3 strikeouts, very little contact, and a nice solid walk off. And it appears that that's probably going to be it for him, as the bullpen is up and going.
Well, Zach is in that perfect sync, so to speak.
Yes, he is. You get a release point.
That's it.
And sometimes you don't even have to think about how to repeat it, because that's the key of all pitching, is repeating your release point.
There's a strike. One and two the count. Tatum from Ross Detweiler.
Want to know where to find bacon on a stick? I know I do. So when you're at U.S. Cellular Field, you want to track the red line after attending the game? Interested in a seat upgrade maybe? Download MLB.com Ballpark, the official U.S. Cellular Field Ballpark app for iPhone and Android smartphones. Visit WhiteSox.com/ballpark app to learn more.
Here's Melky. Melky 0 for 1 and line drive to second. The other 2 at bats, he was hit by a pitch, once in the foot and once in the leg. Only 1 to count. And just bobbles, now throws, then time. Looks like he's just absolutely coming off the ball like a hitter will come off a pitch when he's hitting. He's just taking his eyes off the ball just before he gets there.
Yeah, sometimes you lose a little confidence also, and the ball's hit to you. You wonder how it's going to go wrong this time. It has not been a particularly good year for a guy that normally is a very good shortstop.
Yes, he is. Well, it happens. You go into defensive funks. There's a curveball strike to Alexei, who was 1 for 3. And there are times every player goes through it that you're out there in that field, you just praying they don't hit it to you. That takes a nice little kick over. And that did not take long. We're into the 8th, still leading 3-2. CSN's own David Kaplan and Chicago Tribune writer David Hall. That's the Kaplan Hall Show. Every morning at 9 on CSN Chicago.
Those guys are pretty good at what they do. And Gordon Beckham checks in the game at third base. Zach Duke comes into the game to protect his 1-run lead. He's 2-2 as ERA .371. On for the 30th time. So a very good job by Rodon for 6. Putnam for 1. And now it's Zach Duke.
There's Odor. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI. First pitch strike. Odor's going out to center and then hit that 4-6 fielder's choice. Nothing into the count. And make your plans to be with us tomorrow. Finale of the series, finale of this homestand. Jose Quintana. He gone. Couple of hooks. 1 out.
4 strikeouts in a row. It's the first for Zach. Throw to pitch tracks. Perfect pitch, bottom of the zone, and moving away.
So here is Sensu Chu. Grounded to first. Hit into a 1-6-3 double play and struck out. Quintana tomorrow against Giovanni Gallardo.
He looked pretty good against us in Texas.
Yes, he did.
Former #1 of the Milwaukee Brewers. There's the head-to-head matchup. Hugh has been great. Doesn't have a whole lot to show for it. Gallardo has been pretty good. 6-6 record, but a fine 3.16 ERA in that ballpark is a home park. That's getting it done.
Avi deep out there and right. And well off the line. 1-2.
With Quintana taking a look at the last 2 games, you saw how Sale pitched everyone. You saw how Rodon pitched everyone. Being the 3rd lefty in succession, it should give you some sort of an advantage against this team, knowing although your stuff is a little different than the other 2. You saw how they approached each and every breaking ball, especially.
He gone. 5 consecutive strikeouts.
Drops down from the side and another sweeper. This one biting out of the zone. Bye-bye 2.
First pitch strike. Andrus, who has walked twice, has grounded out to 3rd. Going away. Prince is on deck.
He'd make a fine leadoff hitter in the 9th inning.
That one right on the outside edge of the outside corner. 1-2. How in the world he can get out of the way of that one?
Melky wasn't able to do it a couple of times. And probably if Andrus had to think it over again, he probably would have stayed around a little longer and brought Prince to the plate.
2-2. It's full. Chopper 2 hopper. And a nice inning for the Zachmeister. Zach Duke. Go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Beckham, Flowers, and Sanchez. Chuck. Always fun to be around, always fun to listen to. So here we go. Beckham, Flowers, and Sanchez, the scheduled hitters. Detweiler had a very quick 1-2-3 seventh.
Sure would be awfully nice to pick up at least one. Take a little pressure off heading into the top of the ninth.
That ball into right field. Two coming on. And one out.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Mears comes up. This should have been a double play and wasn't. It turned out to be a costly error, the first of two for Andrews, but this one cost them 2 runs because they're out of the inning, and 2 unearned runs, which is the difference in this one on the misplay by Andrews.
Well, last night they had a game-saving play by Alberto. And today, if you're just tuning in and did not hear, we've had the bases loaded 5 times. And except for that error, it would be a 2-1 Texas lead. Two 2-0 the count.
David Robertson loosening in the pen.
Three and one. And that's ball 4.
You can fill out your 2015 Assurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at whitesox.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote up to 35 times at whitesox.com. So Bonifacio comes on to pinch run.
And here is Carlos Sanchez, 0 for 3. A fly out to center, a strikeout, and a ground out to third. And he takes low ball 1. 25,738. Pretty good lead, Bonnie. 2-0 count to Carlos. That's into right field. Chu is playing him perfectly. So here's Adam. Adam is 2 for 4 with a run scored. First and 30, madam. 1-0 the count. Fakes the bunt, takes a strike. They got him picked off. He gone. And that'll retire the side. We're into the ninth. We lead it 3-2.
Comes in the ball game on for the 28th time in search of his 14th save in 18 opportunities. 40 strikeouts, just 5 walks in 28 2/3, and he's got to face a couple of very tough left-handers right off the top here in the ninth.
Sox with 3 runs coming back in the 3rd inning. Texas with their 2 coming in the 5th. So here we go. Sit back, relax, and strap it down. Grant is 0 for 3. They can put the shift on. Alexi moves over. First base side of second. Cutting and slashing at the first pitch, and that's the souvenir left side. To the count. He's trying to tie this thing up. He gone. 1 out.
Good hard breaking ball, low and out of the zone. That's the curveball, and Prince, who hasn't swung the bat very well with 3 strikeouts and a ground out today, picks out a bad one to end his at bat.
Well, he's only had like 3 decent pitches to hit.
Yeah, that's it.
Somebody, you know, got to wear it. He's worn it today. As Moreland pops it up, and quickly 2 gone. I'm sure you've had hitters that you couldn't make a good pitch on, and you've had hitters that you couldn't make a bad pitch on.
No, it just seemed like certain guys, they step up there and it's 2-0.
So here's Ryan Roy. That pitch is popped up right side, playable. And when this ball comes down, this game and this 8-game losing streak will be over.
Some pretty good solid work both from Carlos Rodon and from the entire bullpen. Putnam, Duke, and David Robertson nail it down. So a very generous gift of 2 runs on a misplay by Elvis Andrus, and the Sox made it hold up. And that's a very happy group of White Sox.
Well, the bullpen, Zach Putnam has just been, I mean, he has just been lights out.
Yeah. He's been that good, and we'll take a look at it. Some pensmanship as Zach Duke comes on with 3 strikeouts. That seemed easy enough. We know it's not. Then Zach Duke comes in and he picks up a couple of strikeouts of his own. Mixed in with a ground ball, and then it's David Robertson, a redeemer. Hits the big guy out first, and then the final out of the game is popped up. And that is that.
So before 25,738 on Daddy-Daughter Day, a lively crowd also. Andrew Shaw in attendance. That brought a lot of people to their feet. And tomorrow we will have the Stanley Cup here at the ballpark. All right, so let's go down on the field right now to our little catalyst who started off twice and he scored a run. Adam Eaton. Adam, it's good to have that thing broken, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, breath of fresh air for us for sure. You know, it's you know, baseball's a tough game, and you know, when you go through stretches like we have, you know, you're going to come better on the other end of things. You know, so hopefully we can take this win. You know, continue to, you know, put the bats. We got to put better bats together as we did today, and you know, having the guy bases loaded a couple of times. Hopefully, you know, we want to get more runs in those situations, but 3 was good enough today. But we got to continue to battle and you know, put a better you know, couple games together.
Yeah, our pitching has just been terrific. You know, in an 8-game losing streak, 5 of them were by 1 run and 2 of them were by 2 runs. So the pitching has been there.
Yeah, it's been terrific. You know, you can't say enough about the guys. You know, it's a team game. They see that we're struggling, so they, you know, they're stepping it up big time for us and giving us a chance to win every day, day in and day out. So, you know, you can't ask for anything more than that.
Adam, Robin is mixing and matching behind you with the number 2 hitter. He's trying to find some sort of formula that works. Does it matter to you as far as base stealing is concerned, who's up there in the 2 spot?
Yeah, absolutely it does. I mean, when you have a big, you know, power hitter, gap-to-gap guy like Avi behind you, you know, it changes your attitude a little bit, you know, stealing bases. You know, when you have Melky, more of a contact guy, the guy's going to put a ball in play, it's a little bit different. So, you know, wherever, you know, they slot the guy behind me or wherever they slot me, you know, I'm going to do the best in my ability to, you know, try to compete. And but yeah, definitely it tends to, you know, work with your psyche when you're out there because, you know, you don't want to get thrown out stealing a base when the next guy hits a double. So it's a, you know, catch-22.
Adam, thanks for the time, buddy, and nice going.
Hey,
Keep it going.
Hey, here you go.
All right. Our players of the game are the bullpen. Zach Putnam, Zach Duke, David Robertson, Luke's dad. Those are our players of the game so far. Steve Stone, our director Jim Angiu, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Keon Dolashaki, our technical manager Mark Harper, and also for the mayor, Mean Joe Groove, and Mike Mayer, and Frank D'Amato, Frank Leone, and Paul Carey. He's also the executive producer, Jim Corno Jr. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. Coming up next, Subaru Postgame Live with Chuck and Bill. You've been watching White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Yes!